Good morning. As a
It's a Sunday
Pro-life.
morning sermonette.
as a pro-life advocate for
Oh,
many
geez, there we
years, hey, here's my distractor here, or detractor. He will,
Subtractor,
subtractor.
protractor.
Anyway, after looking at all the candidates, I've been looking at them, reading some of their views, especially since in the debates, as usual, this happened every year, the abortion issue is ignored mostly. The candidates aren't asked to talk about it, and they haven't really pushed it themselves, I don't think. I don't think America's ready to do that yet. So I have to look them over and decide if any of them are strong enough in that direction to vote for. I know I won't vote for a Democrat, no matter if I think he's doing a good job in other areas. It's because he's had to embrace the platform of pro-choice. Had no choice but to, because that's the platform. But anyway, and I would say that the press is still liberal, but in a more subtle way than they used to be. Kind of hide the fact that most are geared to liberal views, and last night, I'm 80 years old. I'm trying to get all my papers in order, decide what to do with them. I was looking in my 5-layer file cabinet where I've got a lot of papers, protest letters that I wrote, and I get them out, I read them, I start reading them.
You're blocking off my view when you put your hand in front of my face.
And anyway, I couldn't decide what to do with them, not yet. I couldn't burn them up.
Could you take a few suggestions?
Well, anyway, I thought, I'll just have to decide later what to do with all these letters that I wrote over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And my Arizona Republic newspaper that I wrote a lot of these letters to, of course, they did not publish one. Their press was so liberal that, any opinions on opposing legalized abortion were apt to just...
Now, can I ask you a question now? It's Sunday morning.
But they were registered, they were protests. I didn't expect
Is
to
that
be
the only
published.
thing that you ever wrote to the Arizona Republic?
No, I wrote on other issues, but that's not the one I'm talking about today. Today, I'm just trying to sum up where I
Wait a minute, you just said they rejected everything you sent in.
Well, they did. I mean, they got to know me.
You did do this
They
before.
got to know me, and now I couldn't get a letter printed in there.
Change your name. Use a nom de plume. Holy crap.
Oh, you have to use your right name. They call your home. They're going to publish you.
Isn't do
Yeah,
what I
they have
do.
to verify that you're who you say you are.
I go under 4 or 5 different names.
You have to put your
right?
name. Oh yeah.
Well, the last thing.
You're not trying to get a letter published. I've been through all that, and besides, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go under false name.
No, it's a non.
But because that just goes to show you the attitude of the liberal press toward people who disagree with the premise that legalized abortion is not wrong. And I would call this issue the most divisive issue we have had in this country since slavery.
No,
It
you're
divides
Everybody else
families.
hasn't got it.
Oh, I know, the liberals don't have it. As long as everything's going, as long as it isn't threatened, they're going to deny that it's a divisive issue. But what's happened is the freedom of the press has disappeared. Objectivity has disappeared when it comes to abortion. If you're pro-life, you're very apt not to get published. You're not going to get acknowledged no matter what.
Well, I think
Arizona Republic would not publish one of my letters for anything. They know me down there.
Your problem is
They know
you
me.
feel persecuted.
No, I feel that they,
You feel
I feel, yes.
You feel paranoid. Everybody's against you.
Oh, not against me. They are against.
Well, they're against your name.
Disagreeing.
Whatever you send
Of
in.
course, I'm a pro-life. Pro-life.
Well, so
And
what?
pro-life.
You can write
Pro-life
about other
became a
things.
dirty word. Now, how long is it going to remain a dirty word? That
Now,
is
wait a
up
minute.
to the American public.
There's two.
How long?
There's two words here, and there's pro-life.
Yes, pro-life. That's a dirty word. That's too religious. That's too extreme. That's not human. That's the liberals all have, the liberal point of view, that's all has, and you see that most liberals are absolutely consumed with the search for all the stupidities that
I am not
conservatives
consumed
are
with
capable of saying.
I'm not consumed
Oh,
with
look
that.
at that stupid person. They said this, they said that. Now, see, that's how they analyze the candidates.
I didn't buy
They
this
are trying to catch them. Now, Rick Santorum is a Catholic, and he
How
is
do you know?
probably, I just read it, and I read a number of his views on abortion, which he's naturally against. And I'm sure the Catholics, the Catholic church would support his candidacy, but I don't think, as when I look at what these people, what these men are doing, they sometimes bring in extraneous, like for example, Rick Santorum is quoted as saying that homosexuality leads to polygamy, gay marriage, gay rights, and polygamy. I came from Mormon, Utah. That started in polygamy.
Yeah, but you never were a Mormon.
Oh, I know, but all my people were. I was raised in it. I was a Mormon until I
Your mother and father
protested.
were never
I was
Mormons.
baptized.
They're never Mormons.
Oh, in spirit? Who are you to judge?
Well, I'm just saying that.
Who are you to
if you
judge?
don't practice anything, and you practice what you preach and you're not
Yes.
doing it, then
Well, I
you're
practiced it up until I left. Whenever I was in it, I practiced it or tried to. I tried to understand it.
When did you
This is
leave?
where, until I left the state.
Well, how old
Even
were
when
you
I
then?
was married, I was still going to
How
church
old were you then?
from time to time when I was home. I was in my 20s. But I learned,
I left the church when I was in my 20s.
I became pro-life in the Mormon church because their beliefs, listen, Mormons with polygamy have a great tolerance for children. You can't have too many children. One man could have 27. He could have 80. He could have 100 and more, like Brigham Young. So Mormons, this is to me what helped them to have a great tolerance for having children, and they had to fight everybody about this. All the men that had more children with more wives had to fight
Fight
and be
what?
criticized
What are
for
they fighting?
what they were doing. That's what polygamy is criticized for, having too many children
Well, are you,
with
are
one
you
man
for,
having to
Are you for
support them.
polygamy or against it?
I'm against it. I don't think it's a good
How
policy.
can you be pro-life and be against polygamy?
Oh, for heaven's sake. That's not the same thing at all.
It is.
Because
They just
women's
keep
rights
porking-
are violated
they
in
just keep porking out
polygamy.
kids.
I would just like to see men put up with 7 husbands. Women get turned into slaves, as far as I'm concerned, in polygamy. They don't have a say-so. They are not equals. And that's what's wrong with polygamy. Because it takes a woman's right, a woman's right to think away from her and turns all authority over to the man, who can have 7 wives or whatever. But anyway, I still learned
That's a bigamist, isn't
you
it?
had to in the Mormon way of life, you really had to love children. You had to accept them.
No, you didn't have
no
to
matter how
love
many
them.
were coming, you
You just
had
had
to
to
take
have
care of
them.
them all. You had to.
Having them and loving them are not the same thing.
I know, but they did try to love all their
It's not
children.
the same thing.
They did try to love all their children.
Yeah, right.
That's a non-issue. Children didn't get mistreated. So, except in the ways, the psychological ways and which I am glad to say that ceased when polygamy was banned, outlawed by the government, so that Utah could enter the union. They had to agree to give up polygamy, and that's how we don't have hundreds and hundreds of polygamists in Utah. We have the FLDS, the fundamentalist sect. We still have those, and Utah has been accused many times of being soft on polygamy, which I would say that they tend not to want to, like for example in Texas, they went right into the temple and got material to persecute Warren Jeffs. Well, in Utah they'd never do that. They wouldn't violate, the temple, their temple, what they said was sacred. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't go in there. They wouldn't get evidence. They wouldn't have been able to put Warren Jeffs away for the same reasons that they did in Texas.
Oh, by the way, did you notice that Warren Jeffs is now asking all the people up in Colorado City, everybody that's got a family, to pony up $5,000
for his defense? I hadn't heard that.
Well, see,
But anyway,
you don't watch television.
But anyway, I've had many detractors like him over the years. Abortion divides families.
Like
you can have somebody right in your own family disagreeing with you, absolutely.
You never met anybody like me.
It's very common for people to become liberal, right alongside my sister who is, and then those two are at loggerheads their whole lives.
What is a loggerhead anyway?
Well, they're in conflict, and it's painful conflict because it's family. My mother aborted the child herself, and this was naturally, I think, kind of something that her children
women have been doing that for thousands and thousands of years.
But before my mother aborted her child naturally before abortion was legalized, and so she went through a process of repentance.
That's what women were doing.
Of regret. She called it an act of being felt she was punished for it. And
being married to your father?
But when abortion was legalized, then women didn't go through this anymore. They were freed from this because legalized abortion contends that abortion is not violence. It is not murder. It is not killing anybody, even though it takes killing to accomplish. So this is what you got. You've got to have a contradiction. You kill something, but yet it's not killing. Well, the fetus is not really a human being. I've heard endless arguments about why this is not the same thing.
From you too. So.
The same thing. And this is what America has to struggle with over and over and over again. They have to debate, they have to decide that whether
they've already decided it.
Control, population control is worth killing the fetus. Because it happened that after abortion was legalized, there was only the strongholds of the churches like Catholic and Mormon who are very strong.
Every sperm is sacred.
Would you please be quiet?
We've went through this before.
Oh yes, we have. This guy is criticizing me and he does nothing. He has no cause.
Criticize you.
He does nothing.
You just keep repeating.
He criticized the activist. He is not anything but
I've been told that.
Indulging himself
I've been told
in his lifestyle, and he's sitting here criticizing me. Why do I let him do it? Because he's the world. He's you out there. He's everybody who lets this happen and doesn't fight it. On camera, I am fighting him. I fight him every time I get on this camera. I fight him in the way that I think you have to fight guys like him, people like him, who indulge themselves, who have no convictions, and yet presume to be a liberal and criticize you. He's a liberal, by the way.
I'm not a liberal. I'm just vote for whatever I want to vote for.
And you always vote liberal, don't you?
No,
Democrat.
I used to vote Republican when I was young.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're against principles. I mean, anybody who just throws their life away, who abandons himself to drink for years and years and years, I don't call that conviction. I call that indulgence, decadent, a lifestyle that doesn't allow him to have any kind of credibility when he's criticizing. He's criticizing me because I'm here. I'm in his life.
I wasn't criticizing you.
The hell you weren't. You're passing yourself off as what? Wiser? Better than me?
I didn't say that.
Better than me?
I never said
He's
that.
quarrelsome. Why is he quarreling with me? Because he's heard this. He's tired of it. Well, you're going to have to hear it a whole lot more, America and him, if anything is ever done about the millions, I'm talking about millions of children who are killed every year in this world and in this country in abortion. The hidden crime, the hidden thing. 35 fetuses frozen in a freezer, one 36 weeks old. Almost ready to be born. Now that's what we, America, tolerate. That is what is going on in the abortion clinics that they don't talk about. And it doesn't get in the paper. I didn't see this item in the paper.
Neither did I.
35 fetus in a freezer. I happened to see a little...
Where did you find that little
I found it on the internet, and it soon disappeared. Well, until we can bring these kind of statistics to the forefront and talk about them and recognize them, what that makes our country do. Here we are talking about Christmas, getting our gifts and so on.
Wait a minute,
35 fetus.
Christmas last year.
Our own children are frozen in the freezer. One almost ready to be born.
I did not know.
We're going to tolerate this. This is legal.
Did
When
not
are we
know
going
that.
to do anything about this? Right in my own family now, there is a crisis with pregnancy. But I'm very proud to say that the mother is having the child. She is not doing away with her mistake. She's got she has to have a lot of guts to have a baby under difficult circumstances nowadays. Because she's not going to get the support.
Difficult?
She's not going to get the support that she would have gotten if abortion were not legal. Because people are all going to be looking at her like, well, why hasn't she taken care of this so on? It would have been so easy and so quiet and so silent. But she didn't do it because she doesn't believe in it. So she's having to face the world, face the public, and let it happen. And that just doesn't happen nearly enough. And I applaud her. I applaud any woman who has the guts to go ahead and have the baby after she has gotten pregnant. She does not go.
But she already did it 2 more times before this.
So what? 2 more times. She's only got 3 kids. And she's what, 30-something years old? That's not a whole
but not by the guy she's married to.
Oh, so what? So what? In these times, you can't be surprised at anything that happens. Anything. But I'm telling you,
right.
we do not applaud people who carry their mistakes if it's a baby. We want that baby out of sight. We want that done, but we don't have to want to say, well, we helped by supporting this law, not getting candidates up there who will try to overturn Roe versus Wade, so that we don't make our babies pay for our mistakes. They didn't make those mistakes. We, the mothers and the fathers and the society, make the mistake. So until we can stop making babies pay the price, I don't think we can call ourselves a fair or just nation. And that includes intelligent, educated liberals who ignore all around, and this includes Jon Stewart. I watch Jon Stewart all the time. Jon Stewart avoids this issue, and he would not let a pro-life activist like myself on his show. That's why I'm here on YouTube. Jon Stewart
I let you on my
would
show.
not let me on the show.
I let you
Arizona
on the show.
Republic, a liberal paper, would not acknowledge my existence, my writing ability. Nothing that I do as a thinker. That's what men do to women. They silence
I
them.
didn't know that.
They disappear them.
I didn't know
They don't
that.
print them. They
Do I-
don't
do I
let
have to
them
get-
have a voice.
Do I have to get the duct tape out again?
Yeah,
or what?
sure. He tries to silence me. I show you how he does it without making sense. I challenge him all the time. I challenge him. He never comes up to the challenge. I've challenged him many times. Quit drinking then and go out and show some conviction. Will you think he'll do it? No. Nothing is worth it in his opinion. Nothing is worth trying. Just give up. Kill yourself. You don't have, I say, well, you've got an immortal soul. What if you find out that immortal soul you have kept drunk for the last
Well, suppose you don't
number
have an
of
immortal
years?
soul.
He doesn't believe that we
I
have a
didn't say
soul.
that, so suppose
He
you
doesn't
don't.
believe that we survive death. Well, it doesn't even matter whether we survive death or not as long as we live this life well. And is he living it well? Is killing yourself by indulging yourself, by being too weak to put away something that you know is bad for you, is bad for your relationship, is bad for you as a human being, bad for your brain. He's got holes in his brain, I'm sure.
I know.
He won't do it. He won't do it. And that's going to be his record here on this earth. So I tried to keep myself in shape. No, I didn't. So I can write those letters, protests, keep on trying to get America to listen, to strengthen the candidacy of pro-life people, pro-life. Get this to the forefront.
Yeah, but they never.
Keep trying.
You keep watching this, and they don't even bring it up. None of the Republicans are bringing it up.
I know they're not. They're not ready to. They're not ready to go to battle. They talk about, Romney talks about, I'll go and fight Iran. He'd rather go fight Iran than he would fight to overturn Roe and Wade. Now, Rick Santorum is talking about overturning Roe versus Wade, overturning legalized abortion. Romney would rather fight Iran. What makes more sense? Rick Santorum, I will say, after reading a number of his views, I give that man some credit, a lot of credit, but I don't think that he is saying the stuff that's going to get him elected the candidate. If he's elected and he can bring his thoughts together, I will vote for a man like him because he is honestly pro-life, against abortion, wants to overturn Roe versus Wade. To me, he's got his head in the right place, but it's up to him and up to the American people whether they were going to support a candidate like him. And I just don't think that's going to happen. Romney's not strong enough on the issue of abortion. He is not strong enough. He wavered. He has a record of crossing over, and he just hasn't thought about it enough in enough depth to be able to do anything with it. So if he gets in there, he will do nothing. He will do nothing about it.
Well, other than that,